Hi everyone, I'm Toni, the online broadcaster and the self-care queen. I thought I'd start by doing a weekly blog in line with my online blog. And this week, because it's Mental Health Awareness across the USA, I thought it'd be a good reason to talk further about looking after your own mental health. And part of that learning to look after your mental health is saying no. 10 reasons you need to embrace no. So, a friend of mine, Michelle, had just turned 30, and when she became engaged, at the same time she was planning her wedding, she also took on two key projects at work and began volunteering at a new organisation that had started in her area, as well as helping her sister pack and move cross country. Rather than saying no to any of these commitments, Michelle kept saying yes. As her wedding date drew closer, she felt overwhelmed, stressed, and scared, and she could barely manage her life. She couldn't imagine adding another person to it. A friend gently pointed out to Michelle that she had overspent her yeses, and I love that concept. She'd overspent her yeses. When you say yes all the time, you spend your time, your money, and your energy, and you only have a limited amount of yeses to give. These words are so important. And so I wanted to tell you my 10 reasons for saying no. Number one, when you say yes to everything else, you have to say no to your own needs and wants. And that means sometimes your priorities end up falling to the bottom of the pile. If this happens continually, you eventually start feeling stressed, resentful, grumpy, and tired. I know I do. The number two reason why saying no is important is people don't respect a pushover that they can bullying. And with bullying so rife across the planet, it's a good idea to get used to saying no. If you get used to saying no, it earns you respect and they begin to respect and admire you. Number three, no one lets you focus on your values. When you say no, there's space to focus on what you value the most. If you're constantly agreeing to help on 12 different committees and then you're saying no to spending time with your husband, spouse, or significant other, and if you value intimacy and a relationship with your significant other, then saying no is directly contradicting your values. This creates a situation where you end up feeling upset, and it can be really painful. It means if you're not living out what you want, you're not working and walking towards your values. And as a result, you feel inauthentic and bitter. Number four, no creates space for others. It's tempting to think that everything must be done by you, but in reality, you can't handle every project or request that comes your way. It's not humanly possible. And for women in particular, we try and do this all the time. We don't like saying no all that often. I know people who are very good at it, but I'm not one of those people. What about you? When you try to do it all, you take opportunities from others. So if you say no, that allows someone else to step into that space and say yes. If you get used to saying no, it gives the others opportunity to step in, step up, and take up the slack. Number five, no protects your own energy. Women in today's society are often encouraged to wear a superhero cape all the time. They're expected to do everything for everyone with a smile and a good attitude. If you don't embrace the concept of saying no, that smile and wonderful attitude becomes more difficult. You use up your energy and you limit that flow of energy. And it means that you encounter things that drain your energy. You need to stand up for yourself and for your family and say, I can't do this. No, I can't attend that meeting. No, I can't do that. However, I may actually be able to do this. So why not think about suggesting an alternative? But it is okay to just say no. Keep in mind that just because you overcommit does not mean you will magically gain additional strength, energy, and stamina, or the time you need to accomplish everything. Number 6, no adds margins into your days. This is an interesting concept. When you continuously overcommitted, there is no margin in your life. There's no space to relax. There's no space to unwind. So if you plan back-to-back meetings all day with no margin, and then you hit the end of the day, you're hungry, tired, and stressed. You may be feeling grumpy because you've overworked. When you say no, you create a margin in your mind and body that you desperately need. And when you don't commit to every meeting, every project, and every request that comes to you, you can show up and bring your best self, your best energy, and your best focus. Number 7, no gives you confidence. The reason so many women say yes is they want to be liked. I don't know about you, but I am a reformed people pleaser. It has taken me decades to learn that I don't need to please everyone. In fact, not everyone you meet you're going to like, and not everyone who meets you is going to like you, and that's okay. We're human. When you realize that you can live without other people's approval and validation from others, it's an entirely freeing feeling. Suddenly, your whole world opens up. You don't have to spend your evenings going to that book club if you hate book club. You don't have to take on every call from every relative who decides that they want to spend time with you. I know for myself, there's many times when people say, we want to catch up, we want to catch up. You will offer them alternatives and they won't respond. So that's your bit done. If they really wanted to catch up with you, they would find time in your schedule to meet and connect with you. The longer you have to work for other people's approval, the less time you have to accept yourself. The moment that you realize this, the moment that you realize that you can still say no and still have people like you, that's when you become liberated. Number 8, no makes room for self-care. And as you know, I am the self-care queen. So this is actually one of my favorites. In Western societies, we find it hard as women that to find time for self-care. We are always busy and always want to be productive, and it leaves no time for self-care. But self-care is super important, and the busier you are, the more important it becomes. If you embrace saying no, you give yourself the time and freedom to participate in the self care that rejuvenates you. And self care is different for everyone, but self care leaves you feeling energized, excited, and ready to face the world. You can greet your challenges with enthusiasm and you can trust yourself to find the best possible solution. Number 9, no gives you back control. With a firm no, when you feel like your life is spiraling out of control and you feel like everyone else is making decisions for you and you're busy working on everyone else's priorities, you're meeting their needs and not yours. You have to remember that it's not selfish to look after yourself first. You cannot give from an overflowing cup. Pardon me, you can only give when you have enough in your own cup to give to others. So by saying no, you allow this to happen and it gives you back control in your life. And finally, no makes your yes even more precious. When you say no to the wrong things, you get to say yes to the right things. You get to say yes to the things that excite you. You get to prioritize projects that invigorate you. You get to participate in relationships that fulfill you. You get to be inspired by your own dreams and goals. At its core, saying no and making a choice matters. It's important to learn the concept of saying no. And on that note, I'm asking you all to learn to embrace saying no and look after your own health and self care. That's all for now. See you next time.